Whew. It's lunchtime, so I'm not sure if that's like a good time to hang out with you guys or a bad time. I guess that depends if you're working or not. Hey, how are you, Chastity? Hey, Trinae. Hi, Amy. Hi, Jennifer. Yay. Okay, so I'm making a small video today because I'm doing like an Aldi, like I went grocery shopping and I'm gonna make chili later and blah, blah, blah. But I haven't seen you guys in such a long time and I feel like I haven't gone live in a while and I haven't chatted with you. So I wanted to pop in while I had a few minutes and say hi. How is everybody? How you living? Hey, Lorraine, thank you. Hi, Megan. Hi, Catherine. Yes, my birthday weekend. Whew. It was one for the books. If you are triggered by non-keto talk, earmuffs. Your girl went wild. I drank a ton of margaritas. I ate a bunch of amazing foods. I just really did enjoy myself and ate and drank everything under the sun. It was really amazing. Hey, Beth, how are you feeling? Hi, Paula from Castleberry. I was actually in Orlando for my birthday. We went to ceviche for dinner. Heck yeah, Chastity. I feel like everyone has been celebrating my birthday for weeks. You guys must think that I think I'm like a princess. I just, I love birthdays. Yeah, I'll give you some tips, Mia. I am. I'm actually getting myself back into ketosis as we speak. I know, Beth. Long, hard road. We're praying for you, love. Yeah, the easiest way that I can explain it is it kind of goes to my whole thought process of like you are how you're raised. And in my family, growing up, birthdays were made to be your personal holiday. We always really went above and beyond. And even on years where there wasn't a lot of money, my parents still made it special. Whether it was like filling the entire house with balloons or like glitter in the shower. My parents were very creative about making it feel like it was the most special day that you ever had. And that's just always been my favorite thing to do for other people. So I think that, I feel so lucky and so blessed that people kind of share the magic back. Our little group of friends and Dan and the kids, like I just definitely think that we go bananas for birthdays. So we had a really excellent time. Wow, a 60-day fast. You are a champion. I probably couldn't make it more than 10 hours right now. Yeah, so we really did have an incredible time. I am feeling better, but I am still battling an allergy attack. Basically, what is happening to me, you guys? What is happening? 60 hours. Okay, Catherine. I was like, girl, you might die. You might need a snack. I know what's happening here. And it's the same thing that happened last time. If you are close with us and you've been following us for a while, you'll remember that I had the end of the world sickness like this for weeks not long ago, like right around the holidays. So here's what's happening. My germy little kids are bringing home little tiny colds. Very easy to manage for someone that doesn't have heinous sinus and allergies. So I keep getting these little tiny colds, and because my allergies are bananas, I am basically suffering with it for like weeks and weeks and weeks. So the long and moral of the story here is I need to have really extensive allergy testing done, but our insurance right now only wants to cover a small portion of it. So I basically have to kind of put in a petition and try to get them to cover more so we're not spending thousands of dollars out of pocket to hear like you're allergic to grass or you're allergic to Florida or dust or, one of the things that is going to be very, very difficult and out of my control. So I do have a plan and I have a thought process and I am getting better every day and I'm doing everything that's in my power. I also scheduled another primary doctor appointment to kind of explain to her that there's going to be a delay in me getting the allergy testing done. So is there anything that we can do in the meantime to make me feel a little better? So that's what I'm doing. So I'm gonna have like perma cold, I guess. Last week, I felt like crap, right? That's why you guys didn't see us. You didn't see us for, I don't know, 4 or 5 days. And I I was so afraid that I wasn't going to be able to taste my birthday food. Like that was my biggest concern. I'm like, "Oh my God, we're going to my favorite restaurant. They have all of this amazing Latin food and incredible ceviche menu and just the greatest of things." And Celeste, it could be anything, my friend. It could be anything. I've omitted a lot of things. When I tell you that I've tried the elimination diet, I've tried everything that I possibly can on my own because I hate getting blood work done, and the thought of the whole putting allergies in my skin to test for allergies thing, all of that brings me a great deal of anxiety, and I am super afraid. So I've tried everything in my power so far to help this on my own. But basically for the last 6 months, every time I get the teeniest, tiniest head cold, it turns into weeks of sickness. It's bizarre. Yeah, I had such FOMO. I'm like, holy crap, if we go to this restaurant and I'm not able to taste X, Y, and Z, I'm going to be the grumpiest person in the room. But thankfully, I was okay. I was able to taste it and my taste buds are back in action. I just sound like this. It's awful. It's awful. But I don't feel bad. Some days I do. Some days it's like my immune system's fighting so hard against whatever I'm allergic to that I feel like complete garbage, but I've been really a lot better the last few days. So you guys, let's talk about movies for a second. Well, let's talk about a movie for a second. I am very late to the party here, so don't make fun of me. I am a musical addict. I love theater. I love musicals. I love basically any form of art that includes music. Dan and I just watched The Greatest Showman last week. It was our first time seeing it, and I swear to God that I've watched it like 15 times since then. I can't stop listening to the soundtrack in my car. I am brutally obsessed. It is so good. I'm gonna do my best not to get like weird and Amanda right now and like emotional, but I just wanted to talk about like, I would like to say the top 5 greatest things here, but it might go beyond that, so bear with me. First of all, any movie that has Zac Efron and Hugh Jackman in top hats wearing dapper clothing is just a national treasure. Like I could watch it on mute and be completely enamored. I swear to you, I have watched it every day since then, at least once, and can't stop listening to the music in my car. So I love a dapper man. That's one of my, Jessica, remind me to get back to the crying, okay? Remind me. You know I like to talk about my emotions. I was compelled. I love a dapper man, a man in a 3-piece suit. Like, I just can't get enough of that whole era. I wish that I would have been born at a time in life where they still really dressed it up. Women in dresses everywhere and, corsets, and men are wearing 3-piece suits to go, to the barber. And I think it's amazing. So visually, the movie was stunning, and the costuming, everything, I loved it. Now let's talk about the music. We were not prepared. We were not prepared for how incredible it was going to be and just how freaking gripping. Like, when I tell you, on the way to my birthday dinner, Dan loves the music too, and he's always all this time always thought like I don't think I really like musicals, but as I force him to watch more and more of them, like he really is hooked as well. But the song with Zac Efron and Hugh Jackman where they make the deal to go into business together, it is our hype song. We were scream singing it in the car on the highway on the way to my birthday dinner. Like we probably listened to it 3 times. And it was amazing. I am straight up dancing around my house. I cannot. It has changed my life. Is that dramatic? And this is me where I'm like sobbing. I was just gonna talk about that, Andrea. The bearded woman's character and her song, "This Is Me," was so powerful. I get goosebumps every single time I hear about it, think about it, talk about it. It genuinely changed my life. Like it was such an amazing movie. And I know that it got a lot of hype and a lot of notoriety, but I'm here to tell you that it did not get anywhere near what it deserved. It's incredible. Yeah. So it's basically all I watch and listen to now. Greatest Showman concert. I had no idea that was even a thing. Shelby, I'm coming with you. Tell me where to be. Yeah, we adored it. I mean, Dan's even watched it multiple times and we're listening to it in the car. Like, it was so good. So, even if you don't like musicals, you guys, give Greatest Showman a chance. It is an incredible movie. And if you are ever feeling, oh, here it comes. I knew it was going to happen. I'm going to start crying. If you are having a terrible day or you are having like a self-esteem situation, I'm talking to all of my parents out there, whether it is like a kid issue, if you are a special needs mama, an autism mama, if you are having a low self-esteem day and you haven't lost enough weight and you feel down in the dumps, whatever it is that you are feeling sad and unworthy about, you need to listen to This Is Me from the Greatest Showman soundtrack, and I swear on everything holy, it will be such an amazing emotional moment for you. I promise. Do it. Do it. This is my PSA. We all have those kind of days, messy mama. We really do. Whether it's feeling insecure about the way that we look, feeling insecure about the way that we are parenting, feeling insecure about what we're eating, what we're drinking, whether we were keto that day or not, those feelings can really consume you, and they can not only hinder your weight loss, but they just hinder the love, you know? They hinder your ability to really think thoughtfully and to think proactively. So if you are having a moment like that, instead of making the entire day about that wretched feeling, do something to come out of it. You need to. We all need to. I'm working really hard on being a more positive voice inside my own head. I preach a lot of positivity to you guys, and I hope that there's a lot of you that I do just lift up. Jenna, I'm going to pray for you. You need to listen to it. I know those feels. Sorry, guys. IEP meeting, just that word is like such a trigger for me. It really is. When we did Lincoln's in the beginning, holy crap, you guys. Like, Sancho, please stop. Please stop killing each other. It was traumatic because, to give you guys a little bit of background really quickly on what the school process was like for us with Lincoln, we went the route of the school board and the IEP way before we technically should have. My son really needed hardcore ABA before we got to the school board. So like his teacher was a god. She was an angel. Yes, Regina, it sure is. And it means exactly what you think it means. His teacher was an angel. She was gifted. I literally cannot say enough good things about her. I could go on all day. He just wasn't ready. He had so many emotional things that needed to be quelled before he was going to be able to be successful in that kind of environment and that kind of setting. So when we went for our first IEP meeting, hi, Erin. Your new hair is beautiful, by the way. I wanted to make sure to tell you. Yeah, Sancho. That's right. If you don't know what Sancho means in Latin slang, look it up, and my dog's name will forever change you. So, the deal with the IEP for us is Lincoln was only 3, okay? And at that time, all we had was an educational diagnosis of autism. So, for those of you that are not special needs parents, getting an autism diagnosis is a very, very lengthy process for the most part. We basically were on a waiting list for the insurance that was going to allow us to see the neuropsychiatrist that was going to be able to give a medical diagnosis of autism. When you do not have a medical diagnosis of autism for your child, it makes getting the services that they need impossible. And I am a tenacious maniac. I am a bull charging at the red flag, you guys. Like, there is no one that does more due diligence to get through loopholes and deal with insurance. Like, I am a beast. We had a hard time getting that medical diagnosis. So our first step ended up being an evaluation through our county's school board, and an evaluation that basically was done by educational professionals for them to decide what type of programs he would qualify for in the school district. He ended up qualifying to go to a partial day of like a special needs pre-K. And at that point, he just was not close to ready for that. He just wasn't. Like, it was very, 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 I don't want to say traumatic, because the school is amazing. The teacher was amazing. The programs were amazing. Nothing bad happened to us. He just wasn't ready. And because we were still so green to autism at all and had absolutely no idea what we were supposed to be doing, it was really, really, really difficult and emotional. So, IEP meeting. I digress. Our first IEP meeting, I don't think I was really aware of just how serious my son's needs were. Because to us, he was the only kid we ever had. You know what I mean? We were just starting to understand, okay, he is most likely on the autism spectrum. What are his needs going to be? What is this going to look like for our family? Mind you, he was 3, Levi was 2. We didn't know that Levi was also on the spectrum at that point. So we are like treading this weird water of trying to figure out not only what is the best thing to do for Lincoln, but what is going to give him the most successful chance at succeeding and overcoming a lot of the emotions and communication barriers that he has to be able to proceed and live his best life. So the learning experience that you are forced to take in as a new autism mom or a new special needs mom, or probably just any mom in general, once your kids are going through the motions of school stuff, I was not prepared. And you guys know I am emotional AF, especially when it comes to my kids. I still get very emotional talking about autism and advocating about autism and giving awareness. It is very, very difficult. So when I went into the IEP meeting, I was blissfully unaware that they were basically going to read off every single challenge that my son had at the evaluation. And I just wasn't freaking prepared. I wasn't. I really wasn't. So when you hear moms talk about IEP meetings and how they're overwhelmed and they're nervous and all of those things, it is very difficult to go into a room of strangers, essentially. Maybe you know them a little bit, because they're teachers there or whatever, but you're basically going to hear every single challenge that your kid has. Think about it as the most fine-toothed teacher-parent conference that you've ever had, but you already know that your kid has a lot of struggles and is behind in a lot of areas. It is freaking emotional. It really is. But here's what I can tell you. I've always been a very tenacious person. When I want something, I go for it. And when I go, I have every piece of paperwork. I have done my research. I have, an outlined answer for everything. Like I am very, very good at that sort of thing. But with the IEP meetings, it's very hard to hear what your children's challenges are because it makes you spiral. Like, are they ever going to be okay? Are they going to help me advocate for my kid? Do they genuinely care that he's getting what he needs? Like, it is so many emotions, and even the strongest woman, because God knows I'm not a kitten stuck in a tree. Like, I am a beast. I am. And it brings me to my knees, you guys. It really does. It truly does. I'm sorry to get all like cry on you guys. I went from talking about The Greatest Showman, which is one kind of crying, to talking about talking about autism, and I just still like I have so much fire in my heart for my dudes. Like I will do anything. Years down the road, if that ends up meaning that now I'm a teacher and now like I'll homeschool. I'll work 19 jobs to get them the best homeschool teacher if I'm not capable of doing it. Like, I will literally do anything in my power to make sure that they are happy and educated and that all of their brilliance that's in their super special minds is able to be recognized. Like, I will do whatever I can. I know that for them. I do. Like, God knew what he was doing when he was like, here, Amanda, here's Lincoln and Levi. They are going to be the love of your life, but they're also both going to be on the autism spectrum, and you're going to have to freaking figure it out. Because I am here to tell you, I don't know what state all of you live in, my special needs mamas, but like in Florida, there are a lot of amazing programs. There is a lot of amazing help for early intervention, to Medicaid, to CMS, to special programs and Easter seals. And like the list goes on and on about how much is available. But here's the deal. It's not just available to be like, oh, hey, my kids have autism and I'm going to need what they need. And you wait. That's not what it is. That's not what it is. What it is you have to fight. You have to fight for what they are entitled to. You have to make all of the things that they need known. You have to make sure that this, because listen, school, I don't care what it is. The school is a business, you guys. The school is a business and they have a budget and they have lots of things in place that they need to take care of. Every extra service that your child requires costs money out of the budget. So yes, they love your kid. I think they have they want your kid to do well. I think, they want all of those things for your child. I know that the teachers do. I know that the aides do. I know that the people that are in those positions do, but the people that are working the budget want me to leave the meeting costing as little as humanly possible for my son on the spectrum. So that being said, you have a legal binding document when you leave the IEP meeting that whatever is discussed in those meetings is put in place, and it's a legal document that they have to follow. So one of the things that has been a massive education to me as a special needs mom and as a mom of two little dudes with special needs is that if you are a meek person and you are someone that has a very difficult time standing up for yourself or for your kid, you need to figure out how to do it. If that is pep talk, hi, Dan. Babe, I'm talking about autism. I'm not crying for any reason other than passion. And I also already talked about The Greatest Showman, so I'm fine. I have cryy eyes. I hope you're having a good lunch. I love you. Okay, you got to go into these IEP meetings and almost play a character, you guys. You need to like Sandra Bullock from The Blind Side, where she goes in and starts like advocating for him and making sure that he gets what he needs. That's literally what you have to do, or your kid is going to get the shit end of the stick, and they need so much more than that. School is School is difficult for our children all across the board. Whether they are special needs or not, everything boils down to a budget. So, what your kid needs is dictated essentially by what's left in the budget for them. So, if they have any kind of special needs, be it extra help with reading, extra, like whatever it is, you got to go in there like you're on fire. Like, I swear to God, whatever elementary school we end up with, I am going to be the PTA queen. I am going to live there. They will know me at the school like they've never known anyone. I will be everyone's favorite mom and probably some people's least favorite mom. But my kids are going to be known and they are going to get exactly what they need so that their brilliance is recognized and celebrated. Autism or not, they will get what they need. I will make the posters. I will hand out the waters. I will do whatever it is that I have to do that my voice is heard for my children. And that's what will be done. So if you are shy and you struggle with being able to find your voice in situations, you absolutely need to find an advocate to help you or to be there for you. No, Mia, I never thought that I would have kids. I had kids a little later in life, but it's the best thing that's ever happened to me. Yeah, no, God was like, I know exactly what your life is missing. Here you go. Yeah. I think that advocating for our children is the most important job that we have. It's the best thing that I have ever done. And I am burnt down and beat down and broken at the end of the day some days, but I am going to tell you what, I wouldn't change a thing. My sons have special gifts, as all children do, and because their communication is lacking sometimes, I worry that they are not going to be able to voice what they need. So because I'm their mom, I am going to make sure that they do have that. They're everything to us. Dan and I literally do anything that we can to make sure that their needs are being met. And we will do that from a physical standpoint. We'll do that from an educational standpoint. We just will. It's all that matters to us. That and The Greatest Showman. So if you're struggling to find your voice, whether it's for your kids, for your marriage, to your boss, to that toxic family member, to that neighbor that takes too many liberties, like whatever it is, if you need to find your voice, there has to be a way to do that. There has to be a way. Not everyone's a big mouth like I am. And Dan's a big mouth too. So that's funny, messy mama, right? So we saw a lot of very, I don't want to say obvious signs with Lincoln because he was our first kid. We didn't know what the heck we were doing. So we didn't know what we were doing. I would say that it became very apparent to us probably around 1.5 because Lincoln wasn't talking at all. Like he had almost 0 words. He could repeat a little bit, like a little bit of mama or whatever, but he didn't talk at all. So with Lincoln, we started basically begging the doctor to give us a referral. We still have a lot of echo going on here, messy mama, but they're much more conversational than they ever were. They've come a long way. Let me think how to put this. I was really pushed off with the doctors, okay? Again, I'm aggressive, kind of. Like, you guys see the really nice side of me, but, like, if I am angry or I am needing someone to kind of hear me, I can be very direct. I'm not mean, but I am aggro. I really, truly am. If Dan's still in here, he's going, "Yup, you sure are." I basically told the doctor every single appointment from the time Lincoln was 15 months that there was something going on. Ruth, I don't want to talk about vaccines, okay? I don't want to have that conversation with you, and I don't want to have that conversation with anyone else, because it creates a very hostile, toxic, your beliefs, my beliefs, like, area, and I just don't want to do that here. So I kept pushing with the doctor and pushing and pushing. And I was like, okay, we need more. We need to do something. Like, can you please help me? And they were just, the same rhetoric that I'm sure a lot of you have heard. No, it's okay. Don't be sorry. Don't be sorry. It's a conversation that I like to have. I just like to have it in a very delicate, like, safe place. It creates almost like mob mentality, and I just don't like, I don't like to do that. Like, I try to keep it like light and happy in here, and just like, if there's crying, I want it to be happy crying, not angry crying. Do you understand? I hope you do. I'm not trying to be rude. It gets me really crazy. It's for my protection, not yours, and vice versa. So the doctor basically was like, no, he's a boy. Boys talk late, or it was one of those things where he basically just kind of kept telling me that I was crazy. Like, no, he's fine. No, he's fine. You're, making it up. And I heard that from a lot of family and friends as well. But like, a lot of moms are going to tell you of kids on the spectrum and other special needs. Like, you just know that there's something there, even if it is really mild, or really, just a speech delay, or just a late talker, or whatever. Like, there's something in your mom heart that feels it. So for me, I started getting aggressive. I knew by 15 months, Natalie, I got babies cry as well. And I'm here to tell you that my Lincoln slept about an hour a night, and it was in 20-minute intervals. All he did was scream. At nighttime, I am now convinced that he was hearing more than normal kids. So whether it was like buzzing, or, like, he was hearing something. So like, this boy did not sleep. He didn't sleep. The only way that he would sleep is rocking in my arms, or rocking in the swing with my hand on his body. So I basically slept on the floor next to his swing, touching him to make sure that he was like breathing and that he was okay. So I'm trying not to make this a 9-hour conversation. I really want to explain to you guys how we came to get our sons diagnosed. The doctor kept telling me no. So by 2.5, after a year of basically like begging, he was like, okay, yeah, let's do a speech evaluation. Finally, we're doing something. We're going to take him for a speech evaluation. And for me, I was like, yes, we're going to hit the ground running. We're finally going to be around people that like know what the red flags are. Like, we're doing it. Something's happening here. So we started going to speech. We were so lucky. We got gifted like the most incredible speech therapist on the face of the earth. Her name was Miss Gabby. She literally changed my children's lives, both of them. Neither one of my children spoke and really had an awareness of communication until she came into their lives. So that's another pro tip. If you have a speech therapist or an OT or someone and you're not vibing with them, and your kid isn't vibing with them, get another one. They're not the right person. It's not to say that they're not all gifted and talented, because they probably are, but it has to be the right therapist for your child. So we start going to speech. We're going 2 times a week for an hour. So it's 2 hours a day. I am schlepping little Levi with me at this point because, mom life. Dan's working. I've got both of them. We are like schlepping all over town for therapy. He starts coming out of his shell a little bit, but, after having a lot of really in-depth conversations with the speech therapist, like, she agreed that we probably should be pursuing additional, it's okay, have a great day, should be pursuing additional evaluations. And I basically, we took it from there. And that's how we started going through the school board evaluation and finding out that, we needed this, that, and the other thing. So we eventually ended up getting a diagnosis when Lincoln was 3 years old. So it took from about 15 months old until he was 3 years old for not only me to get the right referrals in place, but for the doctor to really truly like be on our side with trying to figure out, you know, what was going on. And lo and behold, we saw the neuropsychiatrist and she was amazing. And yes, he does indeed, you know, fall on the spectrum. Lincoln is level 3. I know you guys ask about levels all the time. Levels 1, 2, and 3 is not how autistic is your child. Okay, so don't get hung up on level 1, 2, or 3. The levels, plain and simple, mean how much support your autistic child needs. Okay, so if your child is level 3 on the 1, 2, 3 level, that basically means that they still need substantial support, be it ABA therapies, speech therapies, OT therapies. This is not your kid has autism worse. That is not what that means. I see it in a lot of like parenting groups and stuff where people just want to hear like that their kid is a level 1 because they think it means that they like have less autism or something. And that is not at all how any of this works. So Lincoln is level 3, which means that he needs substantial support. Now, substantial support for Lincoln means full-time ABA school. So he goes to an ABA school Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 every single day. And it is the best thing that has ever happened to our life. I realize that ABA therapy may not be for every single child, but for my children specifically, ABA therapy has changed our lives. It has truly changed our lives. Hold on a second. My dogs are being aggressive. Hey, cut it out. Enough. I swear they get like jealous that I'm paying attention to you guys and not to them, and they have to like be seen. So now let's talk about Levi. Okay, so Lincoln turned 4 in September. He's been going to ABA school for just over 6 months, and he is thriving. I would really like to do comparison video of showing you guys what he was like, you know, at 2.5 versus now at 4.5, because it would change your life. It would change your life. I'm telling you, the right therapy, the right therapist, the right situation will change your life and your child's. So Levi, my sons are a year apart, okay? So Lincoln was born in September. Levi was born the following October. So Levi is just over 3. Levi had a better shot here because we already knew everything that we knew and we had already been through this. So we were like, you know, he wasn't talking. Which, you guys know me and Dan. Me and Dan never shut up. Like, we never stopped talking. So not talking to our children wasn't the issue here, you know? So we knew, okay, maybe, you know, we still kind of went in circles. We were like, you know, could they both be on the spectrum? Are we just being paranoid because of everything that we just went through with Lincoln? Are we just overthinking this? Because that was our initial thought process, because Levi was very different at a young age than Lincoln was. He was also not a good sleeper, also like a very fussy baby, I would say, but happy-go-lucky much more often than Lincoln was. He also did a lot more of like the jibber jabber talk, but he was having trouble with actual words. So let's see. Levi wasn't talking, so we kind of started in the same area because we had just gone through all of this with Lincoln, and I basically had verbally assaulted everyone in the doctor's office for months trying to get the referrals that I needed and getting them to hear me and to help my son when it came time for Levi. And I wanted all of these things. Like, I wanted a speech evaluation. I wanted an OT evaluation. I wanted an autism evaluation. I wanted everything. They really just handed it over. They really just handed it over for Levi, and whether or not they thought that I was a lunatic or whether or not they were seeing the same signs that I was seeing, I had read so much about autism that I was like, well, he has a lot of red flags. They're just different red flags than what Lincoln had. So I started to come to terms with I knew we were dealing with a serious speech delay with Levi, but I still wasn't 100% certain that we were dealing with autism. So when we did his evaluation and he started speech, he definitely started talking more. It also became very apparent to us that Levi had a brilliant mind. Both of my sons are super smart, and in that department of autism, they're high functioning. They have, their brains are not affected. They're very, very intelligent. They just, communication is our biggest barrier. But that being said, Levi was different smart. Once the words started coming out, we were really aware that there was something going on for him that was just very different than other children. He has a memory that's just exceptional. Like you can go to the store and buy a pack of like sight word flashcards that he's never seen before, and if you go through them with him once, he'll have them all memorized. He's a special little guy. He really is brilliant. Like he's 3 years old. He can read words like trapezoid and pentagon, and he is something else entirely. He hears music and he can remember the tune like pitch for pitch and can like sing along with it and hum along with it. He has the kind of mind that, autism is portrayed in the media and in the movies and in the shows as like every single kid with autism has some kind of unique gift, like they're little, show ponies or something. And you know what? That's not the case for all kids with autism. It's just not. And that is the harsh reality, is that a lot of people don't talk about that kind of autism, but it can be really, really, really difficult as an autism parent for people basically to be like, oh, he's autistic? What's his special power? Not all of them have that kind of memory, So we didn't really know what we were dealing with Levi. So we basically went through the process with him of diagnosis and making the plan for him in the same way that we did for Lincoln. It was just much, much faster because we knew what to do. We already had all of the pieces in place for Lincoln, so it was a lot easier to give Levi what he needed. So now he also goes to full-time ABA school. Him and Lincoln are together. They're both making amazing strides, but it was a difficult process. So if you're going through that yourself, or you know someone that is and you don't know how to be there for them, all you have to do is listen and just remind that person that they are very, very, very strong and that they can handle this, and they need to be a strong force for their kid. And if they can't, if they are shy and they are meek and they are, timid and all of those things, you need to hold their hand and helping them find an advocate and helping them find someone that's going to be able to be a voice for them. Because the only way that you're going to be able to get your child what they need to really live their true best life, you're going to need help. You are. I would have died without Lauren. I would have died. When Lauren came into my life, Lincoln had just been diagnosed. He was like going to school. We were toying with the idea of ABA therapy. We were trying really hard to get into BASS and to have our insurance lined up. But we were in a really tumultuous time. And when she came into my life, she held my hand through a lot of my own, meltdowns as a mom, trying to navigate all of these waters. So I never would have been able to get through it if it weren't for her, because she had gone through it for Ella. And, if you wonder why Lauren and I are so close and why it seems like we're that tight, it's because we have been through some very, very emotional things together and have just really, held each other up with some of the more painful parent moments. So you need to find you someone like that. Someone that's either been through it. Oh, we met in real life first. We live in a very small town. We
knew each other before we knew each other because it's the tiniest town ever. Really small. So this live didn't go where I really just came in here to say hi. I really wasn't trying to get all heavy with you guys, but man,
if someone needed to hear this today and someone needed that, like, rawr, you got it, you can do this, like, you're welcome. I know that there was a lot of days that I seriously needed it. And, like, yeah, watch The Greatest Showman. Yeah, if you guys ever have questions about, autism and that sort of thing, I don't talk about it as much on the channel, only because it makes me very emotional and very vulnerable. And I feel like it opens me up to a level of vulnerability that I'm not always comfortable with showing all the time. But, I mean, we can talk it out. If you guys want to see more about our family's experience with autism, then, I'm here for it. I have to talk about it kind of in my own way because I do get really emotional. I do. I probably always will. I probably always will. I think anything regarding your children makes you a different person. It really truly does. So, yeah, I'm glad that I have her too. It definitely takes a village. My village is incredible. Like, I have some of the most amazing friends that there are. Like, my best friend Jenny, the one that owns the photo studio that I do all my photography stuff with and all of that, like, she's the one that had to deal with my crazy speculation from the time my kids were born until we did finally end up getting a diagnosis. Like, when you think that there's something going on with your kid, like, poor Jenny, I feel like every day I was like, is this normal? Is this developmentally normal? Is this developmentally normal? And, like, the more sure that I became that Lincoln was on the autism spectrum, it was very, very, very emotional for me in the beginning because I didn't know a lot about autism. I knew a lot about the stigma and I knew that those things were untrue, but I had no idea what I was dealing with. So I just took all of that time and I researched as much as I could and learned as much as I could, not only to educate myself and to not be ignorant on something that is so prevalent in our society and our children, but, like, I wanted to know as much as I could. So if either one of my children ended up getting diagnosed with autism or someone else's that I loved did, that I wouldn't be an ignorant idiot saying things like, oh, I'm so sorry your kid has autism. I hate to be mean, but that's, like, the worst thing that you can say to someone at all. Like, don't say you're sorry. You don't have to be sorry. Like, we're gonna be all right. We're gonna be great, in fact. They're perfect, just the way they are. Sure are. So, I'm gonna wrap up this live because I've been on here with you guys for about 45 minutes and I need to get some things done around the house before my afternoon gets away from itself. So I hope that you guys hi Rhonda, I hope that you guys have a really awesome rest of your day. And if you are just dropping on here, this was a very passionate and emotional live. So in my humble opinion, it might be worth the rewatch, especially if you are a parent. Yeah. So I love you guys. I love you all so much. My dog is like, I wish I could show you guys exactly what is happening here with my dog, but it's really cold outside in Florida. He has to go to the bathroom, but he doesn't want to go outside. That's rough life. So I will talk to you guys super soon. I'm going to try really hard to do these lives a little bit more often, and maybe we can just pick like a topic of the day sort of thing. So to recap, go watch The Greatest Showman. If you need a hype song and you need to feel amazing about who you are and what it is that you're doing here, put on This Is Me from The Greatest Showman and listen to it as loud as you possibly can. I love you guys.